It's the two megastars summer mashup, the awesome iPhone, on the Rockstar Metro PCS network. Get the iPhone you've always wanted for $0, so you can jam without limits.
It's a hit. Get an iPhone SE on us when you switch. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax and $10 activation fee. Requires port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network or on Metro PCS in past 90 days to an unlimited LTE plan. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
What up, though? Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in the 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Move with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war ain't Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
Turn me up in my headphones, though. I'm getting told, let me know. What up, everybody out there in War Room land? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. One of your hosts, Dev McMillan, and I'm here in the building with the Generals. We got a full table this evening. We got everybody in the building. We got B. Austin and Jimmy the Blueprint is back, you know, living life the way life's supposed to treat you. You know, shout out to the one, Andre Zimmerman. At least that's what I call him. One of the greatest Hall of Fame classes in recent memory just received their gold jackets. And we're going to discuss how the evening went. We'll also discuss our favorite new docuseries. So keep it locked right here for this and everything else happening in the world of sports. And if you want to get in on the conversation, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/thewarroom, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 10 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. Before we get started, like we always remind you, during the week when we're not live on the air, please check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, most other places that you do your podcast listening. What up, bros? It's been a while since we've all been at the round table. What's going on?
Hey, no, what's really good, man?
Been a long time. I shouldn't have kept you without a strong rhyme to step to.
I'm just out here trying to stay alive these days, man. Cats kicking the bucket in their 30s and 20s, man. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get a strong, strong 20 more in. That's all.
They out there letting it go in Chicago.
Jimmy, based on the way you look, no homo, Trump trying to put you in a cage and send you back where your ancestors came from.
Yo, I'm just trying to stay alive these days, man. That's all, man. I mean, appreciating life more, man, because I see every time I look up is either someone getting murked, is somebody dying of natural causes like 28. Just natural causes, you dying of at 28. Yo, Texas is getting out of here, B.
B. Austin just took it back to 2009 with no.
Yeah, you got cops shooting cats in the back saying they got guns.
2010.
Yeah. Yo,
it's a lot. There's a lot going on, man.
Tennessee shooting cats in the back.
It off like crazy. They had another weekend. Usually, the holiday weekends in Chicago get crazy, but it wasn't a holiday weekend, and a whole lot of people got shot. It's a crazy world we living in, man. You got a white supremacist march coming to Washington, D.C. You got the union who, basically the train workers.
Dev, you sounding crazy right now, Dev. But I just want to say this, though, man. In reference to Chicago, man, like, because, that's always the go-to. What about Chicago? What are you going to do about Chicago? And I'm just trying to figure out, like, what are they doing about Chicago? And what I mean by that is, what are the authorities doing? Because, because I really believe at some point, and I don't want to get all conspiracy theorists on here, I think that the powers that be are contributing to what's going on. And I know that sounds like, whoa, duh, but what I mean by that is...
Haven't they always?
No, but they don't solve any of these crimes. So are the police that trash? Like,
yo, trash. They just don't want to. Come on, man. They still acting like they don't know who killed Big.
I mean,
like 14 TV shows and already told us who killed Big.
Yo, and I know my brother Philmatic would tell me why hashtag why ask why.
Why ask why?
You know why, but yeah, but it's like, dog, like, come on, man. Like, Chicago at this point is just like, I really believe that the powers that be contribute to what goes on just to have something to point.
You know what the authorities are doing in Chicago, Jimmy?
Handing out more guns.
They planting Nike trucks. That's their that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do about it. We're gonna plant Nike trucks and see who try to steal. We're gonna get these dudes.
In the words of the prophet Nino Brown, man, ain't no Uzis made in Harlem. So ain't no Uzis made in the South Side. These cats be having straight war machines, like no pun intended to Marvel, but they have war machines. Like, where are they getting this from? Come on, man, cut it out.
I'm gonna give you some further cannon fodder and fuel for your conspiracy machine. If they can figure out how to make Chicago work, then they can implement that system in all the other American cities and get us up out of here without having to spend money on putting us in cages and sending us back.
This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. So what you're doing is you're feeding my theory of the powers that be trying to create martial law. That's what you're doing right now. So I'm just saying, like, just pay attention to what goes on. As crazy as Chicago is, man. Yo, these cats be like 13 years old. Like, yo.
Well,
how you 13 years old with a machine gun? Like, come on, cuz.
Yeah.
And a side note, with that whole thing of planting that sneaker, the whole thing with the sneakers, dog. Like, yo, I don't even think that's a culture thing. That's a poverty thing. You put an empty truck anywhere where there's poverty. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. Come on, man.
And it don't matter if it's sneakers or not, because I mean, of course they're looking at it that way, like, oh, this is what they do, so it's the best thing they can think of. Throw some J's in Chicago, but
even when they say
you put a truck of anything there in a poverty-stricken area, people are gonna go for broke because they're going, you that's income. You can sell that stuff for money. So,
they could have put a truck full of like just this bottled water there, and cats would have took it. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, like. It's poverty, man. But,
truck full of Reynolds spoons. It don't matter.
I see what they trying to do though. They ain't get one over on me, but
Yo, if we had the money and resources, we need to put a truck full of the same materials in a trailer park and see what happens. Where Dak mom come from?
Yo. Shout out to her at the truck stop.
All right, man. So let's get into what we're here for. And let's jump into some sports talk. But look, the hot topics are brought to you by MyBookie. What up, War Room fan? Let's take a minute. Let's talk turkey and how much of it you can make betting on sports at MyBookie. If you haven't checked out MyBookie, this is a great time to do so. Lay down some dough on the biggest games in sports. Join us and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. You tired of getting the runaround when it's time for a payout? That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. You win, they pay. Fast, no hassles. You wasting your time betting on sports anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting so you can place wagers after games begin. It's crazy. Join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 50% bonus. Just use promo code WARROOM to activate this offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, and get paid early. All right, y'all. Like I mentioned in the open, probably. In our lifetime, maybe not the very best, but, off the top, I can't think of a better one. So I'm just going to say one of the best Hall of Fame classes of recent memory just got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past Saturday. It wasn't without controversy because we know the whole situation with Terrell Owens and, him deciding to skip out on the ceremony and have his own ceremony at his alma mater, Tennessee Chattanooga. Just real quick, before we even talk about T.O. and his separate ceremony, is there anybody in this class, and I'm basically asking you guys about the modern-day guys that we saw from start to finish. So shout out to Bobby Beathard, shout out to Robert Brazile. I mean, we saw most of it, and shout out to Jerry Kramer. Congratulations to those guys for making it as well, but we're not talking about those old guys. We're talking about the people we saw from start to finish. Do you guys think that anybody in this class, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Brian Urlacher, I think I got them all. Do y'all think there's anybody in this class that's undeserving?
Nah. I mean, even though some of the guys on the personal level, I just don't like them, but that's crazy to say they wouldn't deserve it.
Hold up, B. What'd you say, Jim?
I said that, like, although some of these guys I don't like on a personal level, they were amongst the greats to ever play. Everybody you named had at least half a season or a season where they were the absolute best of their position. So it'd be kind of ludicrous to say that they're not deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. They all are.
The funny thing about that, Jim, is the person that, I don't care for the most, probably the only person that I really, have any kind of personal feelings toward at this point is the person that I used to like and love the most. And, that's for things outside of football. But, B, what were you saying when I asked you about who might be undeserving?
I was going to assume that our brother Jimmy was going to say that Urlacher didn't deserve, but
oh, so he's going to hit you with some Bomani logic?
Yeah, he was on Bomani. But nah, everybody is deserving. Admittedly, we're biased. I'm biased, so I probably rate our man higher than he should be, but definitely deserving. Yeah, I think B-Dog is one of the greatest football players that ever lived, which being in the Hall makes that probably the case, but he's probably ranked a little higher than he should be.
That's funny because, I was on with Fred Perdue the other day doing an episode of Cover 2. We talked about this, and when we got to Brian Dawkins, I kind of said the same thing. And I'm like, being a diehard Eagles fan, a native Philadelphian, somebody who likes cats who shows those kind of leadership skills that can get you hype enough to go run through a wall for him. I'm like, I think I might be a little biased. I might overrate Brian Dawkins a little bit as well. I was asking him as an outsider, like, is Brian Dawkins revered the same way? Not even just for his personality, but for his game. Is he that great outside of Philadelphia as he is to, Philadelphians? And he pretty much gave him props, being an undersized dude, not the fastest dude in the world, but was able to do everything on the field, cover, come up in the box, hit people. He was a smart player, a passionate player. He gave him his props. But sometimes, I do get into that mode where I'm like, is this just us? But, hey, my man just put on a gold jacket. So.
But I think, yeah, exactly. I think we also nailed it on the head, Paul, because he said the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame kind of proves that you guys aren't doing that because these aren't people from Philadelphia voting. Yeah, so people believe that he is amongst the greatest to ever play, which is why being in the Hall of Fame is such an honor, although sometimes people get it and don't deserve it. Like, because think about it. Everybody talks about, I want to win a chip, but you can win a chip and be the 10th best player in your team. Like, when you make it to the Hall of Fame, that means that you've contributed to the culture of the game. That means that you were amongst the giants, the legends who ever played. That means that you will live forever. There are people who won championships who don't live forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't.
Well, shout out to Robert Ory.
Rob going to live forever, though, because there's people who's very fooled by his championship pedigree.
Hey, listen,
and the thing is, Robert Ory was
that.
never a bum, but in his 7 championships, he probably ranged somewhere from, like, 5th or 6th best player on the team down to the 10th best player on the team, 11th, like Jimmy just said. Like, he was in that range for all his 7 chips.
Here's why Robert Ory is so amazing, though, is because even with that being said, the whole and he's like the outlier with this argument, can you tell the history of the game? Because you can't tell the history of the NBA without Robert Ory because of those shots he made. Which means, no, listen what I'm saying. And granted, some of those shots weren't game-winning shots. But when you talk about, like, some of the shots that he made, it just goes to show how timing can change the perception of everything. He's like the anti-Tony Romo in that way. So,
yeah, I mean, for me, like, I never
out all game. But he makes the wrong play at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like, so, and Robert Ory is the opposite. He'll stink it up all game, but, you know, in my brother B. Austin's voice, what's the thing he did? Clutch G, whatever the video he did. Like when it comes time for that moment, when it's the mom spaghetti moment, he'll make the play even though he stunk it up the rest of the game, and that's what people remember.
Yeah.
Yo, that bull extremely, extremely overrated. But with B-Dog, I
don't think he's rated. Go ahead.
There are two guys. There are two guys that come to mind. Ed Reed, who's going to the Hall, and Troy Polamalu, who probably undeservedly so is going to go to the Hall because his hair was nice.
He deserves
when
to
you
go.
look, when you look at,
you always crapping on, bro. I know he's not those guys. I know he's probably over-celebrated, but he deserves it. Troy was,
nah, but listen. When you combine their games, Brian Dawkins probably wasn't as good at timing the snap count and jumping over the line as Troy Polamalu, but he's equally good in the box as Troy Polamalu. Not equally, but on the same par. And then early to the middle of his career, he was good. He was good. Good deep, like. And that's also what she said to me. But so Ed was that guy. He was kind of Earl Thomas before Earl Thomas, not quite the athlete, but so anticipatory that he erased the deeper parts of the field.
Right.
And I saw
I'm confused as to what the point you're making. Are you taking this as a shot at?
Because you sound like you're praising him now.
To big up.
He's giving us all of his strengths, like why he's good.
No,
but you said it after you said he's not deserving to go to the Hall.
No, I'm saying that when you look at Brian Dawkins' game, he basically had both of their, like, Ed Reed wasn't coming down and into that line of scrimmage area and laying cats out, but the other part of the game,
he's an amalgamation of those two guys. So you're saying that he had the strong parts of both guys' games. Now,
exactly.
What's interesting is I honestly believe that if you flip that, if you put Troy on the Eagles, that your perception of his game will be completely different. He'd probably be one of your favorite players. If he plays for the Birds.
Troy can't.
Well, he don't give speeches like B-Dog though. So
no, Troy.
Yeah, but if Troy jumped over the line and made one of them ridiculous plays while wearing a Birds jersey, B. Austin wouldn't even care about anything else he did the rest of his career. He would go back to that. He would go back to that specific play on that date, and nothing else would matter.
He jumped over the line, though.
The way I evaluate safety play, that can't be true. Yo, Troy couldn't cover any of the three of us 20 years ago. Like, dude's coverage skills were severely lacking, and people just erased that because he could hit.
Well, first off, I think it's hilarious that people consider him a safety because he didn't play safety, in my opinion. He was an extra linebacker.
He didn't.
He played linebacker. Like, that's what he played. But at the same time, he's definitely deserving of goal. And I think Ed Reed is eligible next year, if I'm not mistaken. Either next year or the year after, but it's very soon.
It's next year.
It's next year.
Ed Reed has an argument for being the best safety of all time.
I agree.
An argument. He might not be to a lot of people, but he has an argument.
I hope Ed Reed keeps that same energy and goes to the Hall without getting a cut. That would be fire. Because my man definitely don't get a cut, like, on no sort of schedule. Like, he get a cut when he feels
ever. Yo, he looked like Frederick Douglass.
Did any of you guys have any issue with T.O. Not showing up to the ceremony and his reasons for doing so?
Yeah.
Now, I think it was very go ahead, B. Austin.
I was gonna say, speaking of keeping that same energy, man, part of the reason that I love T.O. and his game, I know that it was wrong. I know it was somewhat disrespectful. I know you can even make the argument that you deprive all of the people that helped you get here, you deprive them. But T.O. is so true to T.O., good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, that I thought that was perfectly T.O., and I just wasn't mad. Anybody else I'd have probably had bars for, but dude was being dude.
I don't think there's anybody that I would have had bars for. Go ahead, Joe.
Here's my thing. When I think of what T.O. did, the first thing I think because that was definitely Matt Tresvany, because we all know that if he would have got it on the first ballot, he would have been there. Yes, not so he'd have been right there, caping for the league, but his feelings were hurt. And when you watch the Hall of Fame, like when it happened, I was like, listen, he's gonna do what he want to do. Let him do what he want to do. But every time I watch it, and I watch any of those speeches, and I'm the type dude, I go to YouTube and rewatch them, and I watch the NBA Hall of Fame speeches, and you see what it means to the other people that helped them get there, like B. Austin just mentioned. I feel like he deprived his people of that. So, but again, it's his prerogative. It's his career. He can do what he want to do. So I really can't be mad at him. But he should have handled it a little different. And this is just my opinion again. He can do whatever he wants to do. And I just feel like he deprived his family of that because like when you see that, like it's like, yo, it could be the worst player, somebody you don't like, but when you see them give their speech and they're thanking their first grade teacher or their mom for making sacrifices when they didn't have, and you see the reaction of their family, like you can't do that at Tennessee Chattanooga. It's not the same.
Right. I don't disagree when you say, if he got in on the first ballot, he would have been there. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, but he had to be upset. He had to be not showing up for something. And I don't think it was just merely the fact that he didn't get in on the first ballot, but it was because it was the reasons why he didn't get in on the first ballot. I mean, come on. In anybody's argument, T.O. has to be top 3, top 2 receiver in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? So for him to have to wait 3 times, like, that's nothing but personal. And until the Hall of Fame committee, gets their people to stop using the ballot as their personal in your feelings challenge, shout out to Shiggy, then, you know what I'm saying, this type of stuff is going to keep happening. Like, come on, man. In anybody, like, if you don't, at this point, at least put T.O., I'm going to say top 3, in our generation, but let's just give it top 5. If you are a football enthusiast, and I guess I can't count the old heads because they're going to be like, man, there's a whole bunch of old heads better than all of these dudes, but you know how that go. But anybody from our generation who watched T.O. from start to finish, you don't put him in their top 5, then they got issues just like those voters. So it wasn't merely the fact that it wasn't first ballot. It was because it was personal. So I could see that too. When I finally get in, throw them the middle finger and do my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my thing is, like, so those are 2 different art. And for me, that's true. Everything you said about the process is true, but at the end of the day, that is the process. So I don't think they're going to change the process based upon him not showing up there. If anything, it'll punish players in the future if they try to pull the same stunt. So he's not helping anything.
Yeah, they're already talking about
being selfish. He's being
already
selfish. That's all he's doing. All he's doing is being selfish, which doesn't help anyone. But it's still an honor.
I listened to his speech, and in his speech he addressed that. And, he was basically saying, I'm standing up for the next. I mean, that's whether or not you take T.O. at face value. He's shown, he's shown selfish tendencies throughout the years.
Yeah, everything.
But, he's like, I'm standing up for the next guy who might have to go through this same situation and that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I see it a different way than y'all. I understand why T.O. might not get the benefit of the doubt from people because of what he's shown over the years. His narcissism, his selfishness. But, I kind of roll with him on this one, man.
No, I kind of agree with you that, like, I'm not mad because he is ultimately true to himself and true to his brand. T.O. been emotional since he came out his mother's womb. Like, that's who he is, and he holds a grudge, and that's part of the reason that he's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th best wide receiver to ever live. Like, that grudge and that ability to prove others wrong and that ability to go against the grain, like, that's a part of what makes him great. So I accept it and embrace it. And when he takes the field in the Canadian Football League as the first Hall of Famer to ever play football again, I'm going to be right there supporting him until he gets knocked out and dies on the field. I mean, that's my guy.
Because here's the thing. And you're probably right that he's going to have to do that because all he did by doing this is, like, no one's really going to give him a look on doing anything else. Not that you do that for that reason. But my thing is, if you say, here's why I think this is just my opinion, why it was kind of corny, because if you say, man, look, I don't like the way they did that, and you just say forget the whole thing, that's one thing. But to try to have your own little makeshift thing because you just don't want to go there because, your butt hurt. I mean, as soon as he got there to speak, I just heard the music in the background. I'm like, come on, man.
But y'all did mention, like, for people like who want to see that, his family members and stuff. So he did something else so they could see something.
It's not the same though.
They still saw him give the Hall of Fame speech.
Listen, man, you gotta give mom props in front of the whole world and in front of millions, like everybody else does. But I mean, but it's your choice. Like, if he's fine with it, it is what it is. I just think it's corny because if you're gonna say FOH, then just say FOH all the way, and take him to get a grub or something and give you a speech. Like, but that was just whack to me. Like, if you're gonna say F the process, say F the process. Keep that energy and say F the whole process.
I don't know. I'm cool with what he did. But what did y'all think about? First of all, shout out to Randy Moss for his tie that had a list of names on it. Some young black people who were unjustly killed, mostly at the hands of police. In Trayvon Martin's case, at the hands of a wannabe cop, little vigilante, neighborhood watch, racist dude. But shout out to him for that because he's taking. I don't like. This is the part that I don't understand. Like, why would that be a problem to you in your life? He's taking so much heat for this from certain people on social media. I don't understand why that would be a problem in anybody's life. If he wanted to tribute to some, give a rest in peace shout out on his clothes to some people that have nothing to do with you. Like,
salute to
who? All right, B, you just cut off. All right, but look, man, it's weird to me because, at the end of the day, it was a good gesture. I don't think Randy Moss's speech was all that great, but I think the gesture was definitely A1. Something else we got to talk about, and that's Ray Lewis's bust. Because we know how difficult it is to make busts and statues that look exactly like the person. We know that's a difficult process. But Ray Lewis, and we've talked about this, like in our chats, Jimmy and I, we've gone from Warren Moon to Keenan Ivory Wayans to a couple of other people, but that bust just really doesn't look like Ray Lewis. And, if I'm Ray Lewis, being arguably the greatest player of this class, I'm going to need a do-over on that, before you sit that up in the Hall of Fame for the rest of eternity. What are your thoughts on that, Jim? I don't know what happened to be.
Oh, the Warren Moon bust you're talking about?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't even realize. I thought it was just me who thought that because I said it like it was live happening in our group chat. I'm like, yo, that's Warren Moon, yo. But and I saw other people bringing the Damon Wayans. I saw all kinds of things. But man, that's crazy, man. Like, yo, that's wild, but it doesn't resemble him at all. Like, it looks like everybody but him. Like, I don't know, man. Because, I don't know, maybe he's – because some people are spot on and others just aren't. So, like, maybe it's something about their features that it makes it more difficult to sculpt. I don't know. Like, I'm not a sculptor. I'm not an artist. But I don't know, because that's
I was thinking maybe Ray Lewis doesn't have any features that stand out. Like Randy had.
Yo, Dev, you got a mean, echo. You sound crazy right now.
My bad. I had two mics on at the same time because that was that.
Okay.
But it was, maybe he didn't have features, any outstanding features that would make you point and say, okay, yeah, that's him. Randy had his joint had the cornrows. And I don't know, man. I mean, but Ray Lewis, I'm looking at him on stage next to his bust. I'm like, he could have did a little something extra with his ears. His ears ain't 100% normal. But, yeah, it was just the speech, though. We kind of knew, even before the situation, it's Ray Lewis. I mean, he's a motivational speaker now. We knew he was going to preach. He went 33 minutes, which is like 18 minutes over the allotted 15 minutes that they get. And when everyone else was taking turns going up to the podium, we saw him sitting on the side with a headset mic on, so we knew it was on as soon as he got called. So he did his walk-around thing. What did you think of his speech in general?
I thought he was drawn. It went over a little bit to me, like sort of lost a little bit of his effectiveness. In terms of the bus thing, though, I think all they have to do is like somehow find that white suit and put it in the Hall of Fame next to his bus so we know what it is. But anyway, it's typical Ray Lewis stuff, you know. So at this point, I'm over Ray Lewis, like pause. But it didn't really touch me the way that. I'm just over Ray Lewis. It was just Ray Lewis being Ray Lewis.
Would've.
And the thing is, even though like some of the stuff I'm like, okay, all right, well, I like more the stuff about his family than him trying to like preach and tell people what we need to do. Like I'm off that. But you know, I enjoy, like I said, watching Hall of Fame speeches. Even if it's someone I have disdain for, you can't be upset at someone thinking their mom or thinking their brother or thinking their aunts or their old coaches. Like you can't hate on that. If you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack.
I mean, I thought his speech was actually pretty good. You know, no matter what, you know, I thought of him as a man recently. Like for that 33 minutes, I guess, you know, it kind of put me back into that groove of when I used to watch him play. Like, you know, just sitting there, just happy with what was going on. I don't think it was bad. You know, he went on a tangent for a couple of minutes about stuff that had nothing to do with football. But for the main part, it was, you know, he told a bunch of stories from his playing days.
Like, I like the stories about his family, but, like, it's not even the social stuff. It's like it's just too many run-on sentences. Like, he just kept – basically, he was up there too long. Like, like if he would have cut it short, I would have been like, all right, that was good. Like, you know, I love the thing about his brother, about his mother, about when he was messing with his son – and all that. Like, I enjoyed all that. But then my man went an extra 15 minutes just on a tangent about, like, that idea. It's like he lost me. At some point, I was like, oh, yeah, he's still talking. Like, I was on my phone, like, looking at other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah, I didn't mind it because of how comfortable a speaker he is. Like, say if Brian Urlacher would have gone over.
Oh,
you know,
God.
He was reading off the page, and he was reading too fast. He seemed super nervous. Like, if that became long, like, I would have been really bothered. But since dude is really comfortable, you know, he freestyled the whole thing. You know, the English language sometimes escapes him with a few words here and there, but I think I thought it was pretty good. B. Austin, did you watch the speeches?
I have not. I boycotted Ray Lewis's speech for obvious reasons.
Oh,
you support Trump, you support Dak. But I'm definitely going to revisit Dog's speech. I did see a bit and a snippet of that. I did see a little snippet of Randy. Salute to Randy for utilizing his platform to take a stand. As it's being reported, he's receiving a lot of hate speech and even death threats for the tie that he wore, which, you know, we would say is sad, but this is the country we live in, so what else do we expect?
That is cool.
Ray Lewis is a pontificator. That's what he is. That's what he does. Just proof, again, boys and girls, watch out who you hero worship. And I don't say that condemningly because I'm guilty of it. You know, there was a time when Ray Lewis was one of my quote unquote heroes, man. But you can't have heroes, man. He's all blood and flesh.
It wasn't even about like his social stances that he's taking. To me, like, you can be the greatest speaker in the world, but at some point, like, you have to like stop. Like, he just went too long.
You gotta cut it.
Yeah, like I'm watching, I'm like, yo, at some point, like I said, I was sitting there and I'm like, all right, cool, right, all right. So, thinking his family is mine. And then at some point, I realized that, like, I'm on my phone. I'm on IG double tapping buttons. I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying. And I'm like, yo, something's wrong here. Like, what is he talking about? He started talking about his electric company or something. And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, we provide you jobs. So I don't know what he was. He was just going on and on and on and on and on. And we got to work together. And shout out to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., man. I'm going to tell you why, because I think this is the first time I've seen every single person up there quote him, and they were all different quotes. So Martin had bars, but that's neither here nor there.
All right. And shout out to B-Dog, because he uncovered a lot of truth about himself that a lot of people may not have known. He suffered through depression earlier in his career, suicidal thoughts, before he basically found, his religion and found, people in his life that he could 100% trust and help him out of, just that funk of bad self-esteem to become the guy that he is today. You got to give him props for that. You got to give him props for being open enough to be able to talk about that in front of so many people.
B-Doc went up there and split the second verse to my mom playing tricks on me. I was like, yo, I had no idea about none of it. He went up there, I heard. I was like, yo.
Day by day, it's more impossible to cope. Like, damn, B. I just knew you was Weapon X and you used to dive on people from like 14 yards away. I ain't know all of that was going on. All right, so shout out to all of them, man. Congratulations.
Randy's speech was kind of trash. He was all over the place. And his speech was kind of trash.
About clicking on buns. You must have clicked on his speech. His speech was buns. Randy told his whole hometown to meet him at the town center the next day. So they can all touch his jacket. Go home.
Meet up with his younger touch his jacket. I was watching this, and again, I think Randy Moss is the GOAT receiver. I do. But, his speech was straight trash, homie. Like, I'm like, Randy, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah. Straight trash, homie. Come on, man.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Pro Football Hall of Fame is mulling over a rule change that will require inductees to show up, so no TO thing could ever happen again. And when people ask the question, like, how could they possibly enforce a rule like that, I think they're going to do something like when the 25 semifinalists are named, they would all have to sign a document saying that if you get enshrined, that you definitely have to go to the enshrinement ceremony. So they're going to try to get people like that. I guess since you signed something, they're going to try to sue you for something, but what? Are they going to try to get monetary gain because you didn't feel like coming? Like, I don't get it.
Half the dudes ain't got no money anyway.
might not be able to get a ticket. Like, come on, man. All right,
so got no bread.
Before we move on, let's go to the phone line because we got some of the homies on the line. We got Court in the building, homie from Chi-Town. Court, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the War Room.
How you feel about number 23? Tell him, Court.
Be also starting in on you already.
First of all, I want to say, y'all my cousins from Philly, the Blueprint,
no doubt.
B, and Dale. I rock with y'all. I've been listening to y'all show for 8 years, and that's no cap. I mean, I've really been listening to y'all.
Hey, Court. No, man. We know it's true. Because of you, we brought back the JoJo Awards. Like, Court asked us, like, y'all ain't done a JoJo in a while. If somebody say that, then we know they've been rocking with us for a long time. Because
I just got a couple,
when that happened, most people was like, what the hell is a JoJo Award?
I just got a couple of things I want to touch on, guys. As you guys know, I'm one of your most, I guess you would say, polarizing figures on Facebook. I make my Facebook
he be making the page mad with his Jordan.
What
they don't know is Court is from Chicago.
Exactly.
Lived through the Jordan era.
Exactly. And my thing is this, for the listeners who listening out there, for you guys to know, okay, I make unpopular Facebook posts. A lot of times what I do is to drive debate. Some of that stuff, and Dev, you can see right through it, because Dev, you can tell if there's sarcasm, You can tell if I'm trying to star something. You can tell. Like, I don't even got to tell you. But those guys, they think they take it as law, and it's like you listen to a rap song. Are you going to believe all the lyrics that the rappers say?
Court don't realize.
What you're saying is,
Court don't realize that 90% of the world is stupid, so they don't get sarcasm.
Exactly. They'll breeze right through it every time.
So you specialize in trollduggery. That's what you're saying.
Trollduggery.
Yeah, and what I don't get though is like I'm gonna try to say a lot because I know you guys got the call. I'm gonna try to say a lot. It's like what I don't get is that how can you let a stranger on Facebook get you all rap trespassing? I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either, yo. Cassie ready to see.
That's another one. I know Court be listening because he be on the page telling everybody they acting Trez Vanny. I was like, yeah, Court man, he rock with us.
Cats do get emotional on social media. They be ready to come find you. Like, yo, where you at?
Yeah, I mean that's how I am. Like, cause Court he knows this because he's on the page every day. I'll jump into something. I'll argue with somebody, but it's never like hard feelings. We're gonna say something and then we might be on another post agreeing with each other and high-fiving. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes really be angry on that joint though. Like, I'm like, I don't get it. But
okay, well we got that out the way. I want to touch on this. What Blueprint was saying earlier, because like you said, I'm on the west side of Chicago, and as y'all know, it's going down right now. It was just a murder not too long ago, not around the corner from my house. But actually, Blueprint is the conspiracy. The conspiracy, what you were talking about, Blueprint. A lot of us are starting to really believe in that, man, because it's like we got cameras hanging over all the damn light poles over the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but you can't identify nobody.
Exactly. My mama just got a ticket. She just got a ticket not too long ago for running a red light because the camera shot her. And that was like over 2 months ago, but y'all can't solve a murder that happens right in broad daylight.
Listen, man, and the crazy part about it is I've been in Chicago. It's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. Like, yo,
I love
man,
the shot.
Man. And shout out to
that's why they want y'all up out of there, man. They want y'all up out of there.
Yeah, man.
Crazy,
so
man.
that's, I mean, you're right, Blueprint. The conspiracy is real, man. I believe the police, the higher ups, like you were saying, I believe they kind of turning gangs against each other, and they kind of. I wouldn't be surprised if the police is doing some shooting themselves. It wouldn't surprise me at all because the way these shorties are hanging out is kind of like Philly. You got like 30 shorties on the corner, like just out there. No, you know what I mean? So it'd be easy to just come through and just wet something up.
It happened last night.
It won't surprise me.
12th and Huntington with people sitting outside, and instead of like trying to shoot the person they wanted, they just sprayed the whole corner.
Exactly.
What's crazy?
Because they don't listen to Nas, Jimmy. You know what I mean? Catch him solo, make the right man bleed. Don't shoot up in the crowd.
What's crazy about it is like me and B. Austin talk about it like the conspiracy theory. But the thing about conspiracy theories, which is interesting, is when you study history, a lot of them turn out to be true. Like when people used to say, well, they're planting people in the NOI, or they're planting people with the Panthers, or they're following everything Dr. King does. At the time, people said that people were kooks and crazy and it's just conspiracy theorists. But then years later, you find out that everything they said was absolute truth. So I just want to put that out there. That
one of the realities is if I believe that the masses will believe it's unbelievable, then I'll do it because will believe that it can't be done or it won't be done.
Yeah.
Yo, that sounds confusing as hell, but made all the sense in the world.
It's hate out here, don't get me wrong, fellas. But we're not killing each other like that, man. Trust me, man. We're not killing each other like this. I'm going to say that on the air while I got thousands of listeners. I'm Court from their Facebook page. I'm living in the west side of Chicago. I go to the south side of Chicago. So I have my brother was killed out here. I got cousins that was killed. So I'm in tune with what's going on out here. That's why I don't really care about sensitive people on the Facebook page because I'm in real life. So basically what I'm trying to say is it's hate out here, but we're not killing each other the way the news is reporting. There's a lot of stuff going on, like Blueprint said, that's a conspiracy stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if it come out sooner than later that a lot of cops are doing this dirt. So y'all heard it from me.
Yep, absolutely. Man, stay safe out there, beloved.
All right, man. I'm going to let y'all finish y'all show, man. Man, y'all my boys. I rock with y'all, man. Y'all my cousins, and keep doing what y'all doing, man. I rock with y'all.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for your call, Court, man.
Peace.
One love.
Yo, Dev,
One love.
Think about this though, real quick. Think about this. Think about how people felt like back in like the mid '80s when they said, "Yo, the president's helping drugs get in and putting crack in the community." They was like, "Come on, man, they don't get the F out of here with that." When we find out later.
Find out later. All true.
Shout out to Franklin.
All true. I mean, but that's the thing. Like some conspiracy theories are like, all right, that sounds crazy, but there's a way. Like, but then you hear some, and people will go unnamed. Some stuff is just like straight jacket. Like, come on, dog. Like,
yeah, they'd be like, "Yo, Barack Obama's really an alien." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like stuff like that. Like, come on, man, calm down. All right, but I know I'd be laughing because you see, I'm trying not to be on my B. Elton joint. Boy, be on his name.
No, Dev on his Drake joint. He just lets subliminal shots go. He don't even say nobody.
Yeah, I don't name names, man.
He don't even name names. He just be on his Aubrey joint. But I get what you're saying. But until we find out he really is an alien 20 years from now, like, oh snap.
I know. Then I'm like, I take that back too. All right, we still got some calls on the line. Let's get to Tobias. Hold on, Rob. We get to you. Let's get to Tobias because he's probably standing in the hallway at work. What up, Tobias?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? I'm probably the one guy y'all know that's country and Randy Moss. But anyway, here's the thing, man. Y'all listen to y'all talking to court, about Chicago. I always tell people, they never say the race because if it was all black people doing all those shootings and killings, they would have put black in the paper real quick. And I believe there's a lot of cops shooting these people, and in a lot of these cities, a lot of these Latino gangs are going at black folks too. But that's a whole different show. But like y'all was talking about, like court, talking about like pretty much said people want to meet him at Temecula. Remember that story? But I had people people know I'm a Jordan fan, a Bulls fan growing up and everything. I had cousins hit me up, people emailing me ever since LeBron got to school and everything, talking, hey, Mike ain't do nothing. Mike ain't say nothing. Oh, Mike gave a weak response to Donald Trump. And I was like, well, so I decided to troll them, right? So I was like, well, he gets the same milk toast response to black issues as Barack Obama, but you love Obama. So what's the difference?
Somebody's always got hit below the belt, man.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Hero. He always got hit below the belt, man.
Hey, so they got crook. Anyway, we're going to stop buying the shoes. Well, since his first shoe came out in 1985, 86, and it's 1998. I think it's too late now, ain't it, Chief?
Everybody's going to stop buying the shoes, man.
I mean, y'all know where I stand on all of that, man. I just don't understand why everything each of those brothers do, it has to go back to
people are different.
Some kind of comparison. Like, why are we not allowed to like more than one person? Like, why do we have to be team this guy or team that guy? Like, I find myself, now I'm not even going to front, like I find myself arguing, defending Jordan a lot, and that's only because it seems like his legacy has been under assault for the past 6 months. And Court will tell you himself, as much as I defend Mike, I don't think he can ever say that, in those defenses he's ever heard me trash LeBron. Like, I'm the one that's trying to, like, separate them dudes like it's a fight. Like, I'm trying to push Jordan over here. I'm trying to push LeBron over here. Like, why every time somebody has to go at one of them or praise one of them, the other one has to get dragged?
But you know what? That's sad.
The sad thing about that is it is actually the acknowledgement that Jordan is GOAT because that's the only person that they shoot at. And it doesn't have to be that. Both can be appreciated for their greatness.
Kobe takes shots, but not GOAT level shots.
Yeah.
So here's how I look at this, right? Everyone knows I think it's a sport to bash Jordan. I think bashing Jordan is like the greatest thing. Although bashing LeBron might be coming close to that at this point because of his sycophant. But what it is this: people try to simplify everything. there's so much, in my Scott Speed voice, there's so much nuance. In sports, it's so complex that people try to simplify everything. Like, you either have to like A or B. Like, you can't appreciate that both of them have great parts and both of them have flaws. It's sort of like even when you talk about a player and you mention his flaws, people don't even want to acknowledge that they have flaws. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you have to be all in on somebody, or you're just not all in on, like you said, team this or team that. Because I've never,
you're right.
But the thing is, to me, this is sports since the beginning of the time, and it's one of the things that's so irritating about sports, but it's also beautiful, is because it kind of like has people from different generations making their arguments, even though you never can settle these arguments. But it's always been that way. I remember, like, back in the day, people, like the old heads, would either be Russell guys or Wilt guys. There was never guys that liked both of them. Then the whole Wilt-Jordan comparison is the same thing as a Jordan-LeBron comparison. And like we also said, it is acknowledging Jordan's greatness, but it also, on the flip side, is acknowledging LeBron's greatness, because the fact that he can be mentioned.
Oh, absolutely.
The fact that he can mention with a GOAT, he's fighting GOAT. Yo,
you know what, guys? I'll say this also.
No one's talking about the fact that the Warriors just went back to back. The Warriors went back to back, and no one even cared.
You know what, guys? And this is what people don't understand about giving back community, especially in the black community. I did not personally I did not grow up poor. I did not grow up in the hood. I did not grow up having to worry about sharing clothes with a relative, or like wearing the same clothes 3 days later, or going to the rough schools like LeBron did. So that was his calling, something that hit close to home, like Ward Dunn with the single mother households, how he grew up. Mike grew up in a two-parent households in the Burbs with a hoop in the backyard. You know?
Yeah. Even though he ended up getting top killed. My fault. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know, and that's certain things like he done, because there's been stories out there and people who work for him say that black people say he got them those high positions in his companies. And we know a lot of white people aren't given those positions, and we know plenty of black folks who got companies who won't help a black person. I think people are different, but I'll say this. I'd rather you not say anything than you sound like Dak Prescott. I'd rather just be quiet, to be honest with you.
Or even if you're not sounding like Dak Prescott, if you're trying to speak on something where nobody's going to believe you anyway, because they're saying, you never said anything all this time. But that's the thing. Mike has never said – a lot of the things that we attribute to Mike, we don't know if they ever even came out of his mouth.
Well,
Mike doesn't say anything. He's one of those people where it really seems like he don't care what anybody says about him. He's just going to keep quiet.
And I agree with that. And that's obvious based upon his gene choice. But my whole thing is, with this whole thing, I would have been better off if he just didn't say anything at all. Like, that statement was kind of ass. But my thing is, just don't say nothing. And it's sort of like the I just read in the group chat where Savad posted like Kawhi's letter to San Antonio, and I read it and I'm like, he's been better off just not saying anything. Because sometimes listen, man, a wise man once said nothing at all.
That letter.
The second time I quoted Aubrey on here.
That letter was weak.
Yo, that
all right, you got any last points, Tobias, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for taking my call. And one thing I want to say, I touch on football real quick, guys. If you watch that sporting news list, it's kind of crazy where they say Jimmy Garoppolo's number 11 with 6 starts, but somehow Deshaun Watson is number 20 with the same amount of starts. Go figure, people. But, hey, y'all have a good day.
Winning starts, no doubt. All right.
Peace, man.
That's a great point, man. That is actually a great point, because Deshaun Watson was tearing the world apart before he got injured. And then Jimmy G gets rated higher than him. But why ask why?
Why ask why?
Right?
Shout out to Phil.
Shout out to Phil Matic. All right, let's take one last call before we move on. We got Rob out in Cali calling in. Rob, what's going on, good brother?
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
how them girls treat you out there, man?
Big Rob, a.k.a. I'm similar to Thor Manila, a.k.a. Before I get started, I want to give first of all, shout out to B-Dog for getting the Hall of Fame. Before I talk about the Eagles, can you play that track, man, about the champions, man? Thanks.
You want the champion song by Queen and them?
Yeah.
We Are the Champions? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. any champion song because we are the champs.
All right, we like a radio station. We taking the shot.
Yeah.
Yo, get strong with Freddie Mercury.
Yo, shout out to them because they got a movie coming out in like November that looks like it's gonna be fire. Anyway,
yo, what's
up, Rob?
What's wrong with Freddie Mercury?
Speaking of Queen, you just had a Queen on, Mr. Court with the K. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Court, yo. All I gotta say is, and I know that subliminal comments was made for me. I get annoyed with bronsexuals or anybody that's trying to diminish the past legacy of players.
But you don't.
Whip someone by diminishing the legacy, like it's ridiculous. It just shows me that they have no sports knowledge. At least come with facts. At least come with some evidence. At least come with strong. Like if he tried to articulate your viewpoint, I respect that. But I can't respect this like 8th grade. I mean, for crying out loud, my freaking 8-9-year-old brother, when freaking he was a Warriors fan, but when Kevin Durant went to the team, he's like, hell no, I'm going to be a Laker fan now. You know what I'm saying? F out of here. So, Court, yo, man, all I got to say is, yeah, you from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. I know dudes from Inglewood and also dudes from Cabrini Green, shout out to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, ask your girl, man. I'm her stunt man. I'm doing all the stuff that you can't do. So,
what are you talking about, man?
Yo, he don't faze me. He don't faze me. I got sperm bigger than you, bro. Okay, as Big Worm said, I got sperm bigger than you. So I don't
want to hear all that, man. It was a peaceful show, man. Coming at Brother Court like that. Next week, when you call in, I'm gonna tell Court to call in. I'm gonna let him on the air. Let him fire you up.
But anyways. Let's talk about, shout out to B. Dawkins for getting in the Hall of Fame. I think B. Austin articulated the best when talking about B. Dawk as because some people, some safeties are good or have better attributes than others. Like what?
Right.
Like Ed Reed was not in the box, guys, but he was a great cover corner. Troy Polamalu was great in the box. He was a great safety within the zone, within the scheme that they play within the zone. But if you not him man to man, he couldn't cover a shadow. You know what I'm saying?
I was great in the box too, and I covered it up most times. I can't front. I ain't covered it.
I was great in the box.
I was good playing deep.
Naked coverage. Yo. All right, so Rob, you excited? LeBron that he put out his first photo in a Lakers uniform. You excited?
Yeah, I won't be excited until we get to April in the playoffs. You know, I won't be excited for playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Laker fan. I'm excited to see.
That's when your excitement should wane a little bit. There ain't gonna be too much going on in the playoffs.
It's
at least not year one, unless they make a big move in the next 5 minutes. I'm actually, you know what I'm saying, I'm not even going to dismiss the other moves that they made. You know, you got some people on that team. You're just wondering how the chemistry is going to go because, you know, it seemed like Magic brought in everybody in the league that hated LeBron. So, you know, now they're going to want them dudes to mesh and ball together. But they brought in some pretty good complementary pieces to the young guys that they already had. But, I mean, we know how this is going to go anyway. Like, all those pieces, no matter what they do, that's all going to get ignored. You're going to be like, LeBron came, they went from 35 wins to 50 wins in a playoff. Just like I told people, though, LeBron never comes by himself, and he never leaves by himself. So,
that's part of his
but
power,
this time he came with some complementary pieces, but he didn't come with any. He didn't come with any straight up superstars. So his work is still going to be probably even more cut out for him this time around than it has been when he went to any other teams. So we'll see. We'll see what they do around April, man. But as usual, man, thanks for your call, and we holler at you next week. All right?
Oh, all right. And Jimmy, speak on the Lakers before I go out. Can Jimmy speak on the Lakers real quick before I go out? Peace.
All right, he will. Just listen off air. He'll give you his opinion real quick. Go ahead, Jimmy. No particular topic. Just speak on the Lakers.
Yo, man. The way I look at it is this, man. It's a positive. Anytime you can add the best player in the league to your squad, you have to do so unless there's extenuating circumstances like the Sixers had. But when you look at the fact that last year we had a team full of Fortnite players that do the floss thing, adding all those veterans can be nothing but a good thing.
Shoot.
Yo, I was in the hood. I was in the hood in St. Lucia, kicking it with my melanated brothers, and I saw kids like doing that floss dance. I'm like, yo.
I was everywhere, man.
But that's either here nor there. That's either here nor there. But my point is.
Something else. I forgot the other joint. There's names to all of it too.
Yeah, man. But anyway, my point is saying that this is an absolute upgrade. I'm interested to see where they fall because people like to say how tough the West is, which is true, but that's at the very top. Like, you're talking about the Golden State, the Houston, but there's a lot of other teams you can beat up on. Like, let's not get it twisted. You could beat up on a lot of the West too. So, we'll see what happens.
First I said yeah, and then I'm like, not a lot of the West.
You got
like even their worst playoff teams kind of tough. Like a Minnesota. If they can be friends, they don't even like each other, and that's not good in today's game.
I don't fear Minnesota. Like I thought the Lakers were competing to beat Minnesota before.
Oh no. If we go into a fear factor, no.
And you goon the squad up. Only you know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But I just think
the thing is about.
I was about to say, I just think like the Denvers, the Portlands, the Utahs is just tougher than the Knicks and.
I mean, obviously. Some of the big,
like that.
The East has some of the worst teams ever. But with that being said, I saw someone the other day. I think it was ESPN or whatever said Utah's going to be the number 2 seed this season. But that's kind of wild.
Not going to happen, but
here's the thing. Here's the thing
not
about
going to happen at all.
In basketball, when you have the best player on the floor, you always have a chance to win. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like
one man out of 5.
Basketball is different.
Like when we used to have Doc Band on our team, it was like having 2 NBA players. So we always had a chance to win. You know what I mean? It will be awesome naming names again. You know that name too. All right, so before we move on, man, quick. Actually, before we do the stat of the week, I just want to get you guys quick thoughts on the rule changes in college hoops. The NCAA decided on Wednesday that they were going to make widespread changes, and here are some of the biggest changes right here. All players who get invited to the NBA Combine but don't get drafted will have the option to return to their former school. I think that's a pretty good rule. In that case, you'll have a lot of college coaches who will have a good idea of who they're probably going to end up getting back. Now, this rule doesn't help Jello Ball because Unc Vard and snatched him out of school altogether, made him go pro, so he has nowhere to go now that he didn't get drafted. Elite prospects will now be allowed to have official relationships with agents. Now, this one has a gray area to me. This applies to high schoolers and college athletes. USA Basketball, in conjunction with the NCAA, will be tasked with identifying which prospects in a given class are elite. So that's where the gray area is, because you're going to have some guys where people are going to be like, well, how'd he get a classification? He's not elite. And you have some guys who feel that they're left out of that. Like, come on, I'm top such and such and this and that, and they didn't give me an elite classification. So you're going to have a committee sitting around, just like you do with Hall of Fame voting, All-Star voting, and it's up to them to give people the designation of elite.
It's that noise.
So I don't know what that is. So I don't know if that one is going to work. The NCAA is requiring all school presidents, chancellors, and athletic staff members to contractually comply with any and all future investigations. This is the NCAA's way of trying to institute a de facto version of subpoena power, which it lacked previously. Now, this rule comes into effect because of the FBI probe that they just finished going through. And most of the other rules are about things that have something to do with the FBI probe. One more that's really basketball related, the recruiting calendar is getting a major overhaul. The college coaches will be allowed to attend the NBA Players Association Top 100 camp each June. Also, the first live period of July will be attendable for non-scholastic events. So, quick thoughts on, the biggest rule of if you get invited to the combine but go undrafted, you have the option to return to school. Now, one question I have for you guys, because a lot of people declare for the draft and don't get invited to the combine. So in that case, is it still the rules, the current rules that apply? If you don't get invited to the combine and you don't get drafted?
Yeah, that's interesting. The NCAA is a cartel. I want to say that first and foremost. They're trying to protect themselves because the cities are coming in. The alphabet boys are getting to their books, so they're trying to do whatever they can. But I think that one rule is a good rule. There's a lot of gray areas in the other rules. Because the NCAA, I have a total distrust for everything they do. I have to see how this thing plays out because they're very crafty in what they do. But, anytime you give someone an opportunity to come back because they played themselves thinking they can play at the next level, that's a good thing. But everything else, I think that's how it plays out.
Because they played themselves.
I support the rule. I think it's a great change for
giving them a second chance.
Yeah, giving them a second chance. So
they ain't got to play in the JBA.
I would like to be declared elite, just so everyone knows that I am elite. So they're gonna have to designate.
Look, speaking of untrustworthy, EA Sports, they corrected what they called an unfortunate mistake. What they did, they put a YG song, Big Bank, on the Madden 19 soundtrack, but when he said Colin Kaepernick's name in the song, actually I think it might have been Big Sean's lyric, they blanked out Colin Kaepernick's name. So, like I said, they're calling it an unfortunate mistake, but other than that, I didn't really get a good explanation as to why they thought it was a good idea to do it, but now they're trying to fix their mistake by adding the song back without the edit. Too little, too late?
Why? When you know why.
Too little, too late?
The excuse
they still going to sell 60 million video games, so it don't matter.
The excuse that they used were they were told he wasn't allowed on the game. So they took that in terms of some sort of generic meaning that even his name. So it's kind of a BS excuse.
Yeah.
We know why.
I would like to
thought that meant.
I would like.
Period. His name can't even be on the song. Come on.
I would like to poll
this
the number of
whole
Trump voters in that company. It can be an anonymous poll. Who voted?
Listen, for me, this whole thing with Kaepernick, how long it's dragged on, the whole issue of the politics and football, the whole thing, to me, this is all avoidable. They made this an issue when this could have not been an issue. They made this an issue. And now they're fighting on that lie, and you can't win. You're wrong. What's interesting is, as history goes on, some people are going to be on the right side of history, and some people are going to be on the wrong side of history. And you'll have those that were on the actual wrong side of history, kind of explain that, I really felt this way, but, come on, man. But it was the times, and you're on the wrong side of history. That's why.
They edited the boy's name out like it was a curse word or something. Come
That's
on,
what I'm
man.
saying. These guys are all on the wrong side of history. It's amazing to me to see how people speak of Ali now. When you do the knowledge, and you recognize that people hated his guts. The same people that are praising him now are the same people that hated his guts. But now they recognize they were on the wrong side of history, so now we have to you're on the wrong side of history again.
And the thing is, B, to what you said, like you were wondering like how many Trump supporters might be in the company. Shoot, it's probably not even that. It's probably just just cowards in the company. They probably just got punked. Because I learned something new myself this week, that EA Sports is the only, they're the only licensee of the NFL product. Because I was wondering why there were no more NFL games like there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
The real names and stuff.
Yep.
And a couple of cats in the group chat explained it to me that EA Sports hold a monopoly on the license. So when you have that kind of privilege, when you have that kind of privilege, you sometimes have to bend to the whim of this conglomerate that's giving you these exclusive rights. Like they probably punked DirecTV like this too.
And they paid
plenty of times.
They paid a nice piece of change for that too. Because I remember a couple of years ago when I was still playing games, right? It was an NFL 2K game that came out, and the game was so much better than Madden. But
I heard 2K5. People keep talking about it all week. I heard three different chats. I heard about 2K5.
That game was absolutely bananas. But you was playing with basically dudes that crossed the picket line doing it was all kinds of phony names. And, you ain't had a Philadelphia Eagles, you had a Philadelphia Beagle versus the Chicago Stairs. Like, what is this? Like these off-brand teams, man. Like I felt like it's like going shopping at Save-A-Lot. You realize they got the same stuff with a different name. Never mind. Some of y'all on this listen to that. Y'all don't know about that. But anyway, so yeah, they kind of bullied the exclusive rights. They paid $1 gazillion for it, but that keeps them in business.
Yeah. All right. So one last thing about the NFL. Well, the stat of the week is about the NFL too, but that doesn't require much conversation. Kelvin Benjamin kind of rips Cam Newton. We were way pressed for time, and I was just going to skip some stuff, but I couldn't skip this because I wanted to hear what B. Austin was going to say. Kelvin Benjamin, I had his comments up here, but I just lost them. Give me a minute. But he had in an interview, he had some not so great things to say about Cam Newton. All right, so here it is.
Here's my question. Okay. Where does he play at now?
Kelvin,
who does he play with?
He's with the Buffalo Bills now.
Who's his quarterback?
Who's his quarterback there?
Somebody that's not going to trust
nobody.
And that's
the Peterman.
They have a rookie.
Is it the Peterman?
The Peterman.
Peterman truck juice. All right.
Yo, go ahead, read his thoughts there.
I'm still having trouble.
We don't even need to talk. To me, I have.
No, I'm gonna get him. Y'all can talk about it. I'll get it.
Mr. Brony had the nerve. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
My point is this, though. I no longer support Cam Newton because of some of his thoughts socially, and also his sartorial game. I just can't support that. I just can't support that. But with that being said, I don't know what Kelvin was trying to do with this. Like, sometimes it's better, say it again. A wise man once said nothing at all. Sometimes it's better just to be quiet. Like, because he made reference to the fact that if he would have played with an Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees or a Tom Brady, he would have been, at a different place in his career. But you're still not playing with them. So if I'm your current quarterback, I'm like, if I make a mistake, are you going to throw me completely under the bus too? Like, I just don't understand what he was trying to accomplish by pooping on him. Let's say this got some personal beef and he was trying to let his hands go.
No, it's worse. It's worse than that. You criticize Cam for not studying and developing his game, but you showed up to camp as a starting wide receiver at 285 pounds.
Yeah, he definitely was
no doubt. But hey, let me answer one of y'all questions real quick. A.J. McCarron and Nathan Peterman are co-listed as the Bills' first-team quarterbacks heading into tonight's preseason opener. So it could be Peterman. It could be the Peterman. So, these dudes probably have no confidence in, the relationship between themselves and their top wide receiver. And I have the quote here. He was doing an interview with The Athletic. He said it was a bad fit from the get-go. If you would have put me with any other quarterback, let's be real, you know what I'm saying, any other accurate quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Eli Manning or Big Ben, anybody, quarterbacks with knowledge that know how to place a ball and give you a better chance to catch the ball, it just felt like I wasn't in that position. Now, we've had some criticism of Cam Newton and his accuracy and some of the things he did on the football field at times. But like B. Austin said, calling out, it seems like he's putting every single thing on Cam and he's not uttering one word about where he's culpable in that relationship, at least that quarterback-wide receiver relationship or that offense not being what it should have been. And when you come in as a wide receiver looking like an offensive lineman, yeah, some of this is your fault too, homie.
Yo, he named 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yo, they got like 5 rings amongst them. So it's like, duh, if anybody plays with them, you name the cream of the crop. Like, what are you talking about? I just don't understand what he is trying to accomplish with his words.
His criticisms were accurate, but you do have to consider the messenger. Yo, Kelvin Benjamin, you can't say that. Like, you can't say that at all because you are trash by choice. Like, you can't run a route.
Trash by choice, yo.
And you don't put any work in the off season. You come in at, how are you 285? The only other wide receiver I've ever seen that got that big was David Boston, and it wasn't the same thing.
And that was
David Boston was
Paul.
David Boston was steroids.
Yeah, David Boston was diesel.
David Boston was hanging with the other Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
But
he just got to a point where he just wanted to bully people and fight. So he came in a condition where he could bully people and fight.
My man had roid rage on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just wanted to DDT cats, pile drive cats. All right, so yeah, I don't know where this relationship went wrong and why. This is obviously personal. Like, people will say, "Oh my man, he's saying stuff that's true." While he may be saying stuff that's true, like, leave that to guys who are watching from the outside in. You know what I'm saying? But you played with the dude. Unless y'all had some kind of falling out, I don't really see why there was a need for you to go throw him under the bus, especially like we all said, because you're not being culpable of the part that you played in the whole thing. So I really don't understand it either. Our quick stat of the week, because we are way behind. Marvin Lewis, and we've talked about this throughout his whole tenure. Marvin Lewis has been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals since Kobe and Shaq were still teammates, January 2003. And both of those guys are retired. One of them's in the Hall of Fame already. And the Bengals have 0 playoff wins in that span.
Go and get your duffel bag, little duffel bag boy.
Get your money. If I don't do nothing, I'm a ball.
Marvin Lewis got, information that we could only dream of at this point. But anyway, everybody, y'all know the drill. Y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com if you want to call in and speak to us about any of today's topics. Dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline at numbers 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, press 1 if you want to talk. Jimmy, what happened this week, man, while everybody was on the grind? We're going to have to blaze through these.
Time to talk about it. Yeah, definitely. We're going to blaze through. That was my fault. I was double tapping some buns. But hold up, though. While you were hacking on the grind is brought to you by Sports the Book. Listen, if you're tired of reading the same old sports book, you have to get Sports the Book, the greatest sports book ever written. You can get it at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. Just make sure you get it wherever you get it from. Listen, but in terms of what happened while you were on the grind, the WNBA, they had a team that forfeit their game in protest of a schedule because They felt like the league had them traveling too much, and they had to go play for sold out fans in big arenas all over the place. So they felt like this is their best way to make their voices heard. So they forfeit the whole game basically.
I hope the WNBA folds tomorrow for that story.
No, see, but I took it differently at first because I saw people saying, like, man, the NBA cats will never have the heart to do anything like this. Now, when I saw that, I agreed, but it's really before I knew exactly what they were, what they were doing. Like, I thought something crazy happened, but yeah, it was something about travel. I mean, I know the league doesn't have goo gobs of money like the NBA, so I don't know if they're traveling from place to place on a coach or what. But come on, well, I can't say that. I can't say you're paid lots of money to play this game.
You can't even say that.
So I can't throw that out there. So I guess
I'm not even going to throw shade. I'm not even going to throw shade at the women. No more shade. I'm not even going to say anything. Like, God bless her, because the one thing I do know is even the fact is they're not sacrificing as much as the men would be doing. But overall, women are always about that. Like, if you look at any sort of protest or any sort of anything, it's always women on the front line, because at the end of the day, women are smarter than men, and women, excuse my language, they got bigger balls than most men. So salute to all the women out there, because I love you all.
Jimmy getting box offering.
At JW the Blueprint.
The crazy part is they're 2.5 games out of the final playoff spot after forfeiting this game, and I think they lost one after the forfeit as well. So, they put themselves in a little bit of a situation here. I mean, guess who their head coach is, though? And he says our entire organization has the utmost respect for the very difficult decisions our players made, and we stand with them. Las Vegas head coach Bill Laimbeer said in a statement. So, the ultimate goon and rebel, he probably put this in their head, but shout out to them. They thought they were getting dragged through the ringer. They were playing too much, traveling too much in that one little stretch, and they don't get paid what the men get paid, so they said, nah. That's all that's to it. What else?
The Cleveland professional football team has a rookie wide receiver who was already cited for marijuana possession. That's not a way to start your career, young man.
What, Josh Gordon took him under his wing? Like, what's going on?
Learn from the best. Yo, man.
And this is their fourth round pick.
Legalize it.
Antonio Callaway from Florida.
Listen, man. All I can say to that is, man, in my Peter Tosh voice, legalize it. Anyway, yeah. Next story.
Well, Jim, I don't know his story. We probably would have to ask Fred Perdue, but it says he arrived at Cleveland with a history of quote-unquote issues while in college, and I guess his issues are continuing. So can't teach an old dog new tricks. But shout out to him, because it's probably a conspiracy, man.
Legalize it. Carlos Boozer, a.k.a. Basketball Button, he had his child support reduced to $380 a month because of a change in income.
Damn!
$380 a month. Wow.
Yo, guys. Yo, this boy made $146 million during his NBA career. Yo, and this is for 3 children. He's got to be hiding his bread. Come on.
But here's the thing, though. One thing I did read, though. I
would have to pay more than $380 a month.
I read that his baby mom got more money than him, though. They said I don't know what she does or where she got money from, but they said she got bread. So they said that was part of it. Part of it is
his payments used to be $8,000 a month. But for them to make that income related, Jim, like, I see him make appearances sometime on, maybe ESPN, one of them networks he makes an appearance on, maybe NBA TV. He must be an intern. He must be an intern. $380 a month, like 3 kids, any of us here would got for more than $380 a month for 3 kids. So shout out to Carlos Boozer. I mean, we talk about the system. Sound like Carlos getting over on the system for a change. More power to you.
Yeah, like
to take care of your kids.
But they said she had her own bread. She was once on The Bachelor or something like that. I don't know what other kind of work she does. I guess as an actress or something. But from they said she got an IMDb page, so they said she's been working. But they said she had her own bread. Like I read that.
They said
it was like at this point.
I don't know if she was on it, but Carlos Boozer definitely had an affair with a contestant from The Bachelor.
That's her. Hold up.
No, because
maybe it's not though. Maybe it's not. No,
I'm confused.
He had an affair
because it says their divorce was nasty. This is his ex-wife Cindy Boozer. Said their divorce was nasty. The couple was remarried, split after reports Carlos had an affair with a contestant from The Bachelor, and then remarried again before Carlos filed for divorce for good in 2012. So they've been married like 3 times.
Okay. All right, so the chick from The Bachelor was the other one. Oh, they said her name is Michelle Money. But
see, this is the thing. I don't want to start preaching, Jim, about divorce, but this is what's wrong with society today because the option of divorce is out there, people treat marriages just like regular old high school relationships. If we get mad at each other, we're going to break up. We're going to divorce. And then they get back 3 times just like you would do with your 10th grade girlfriend. Like, come on, dude. What are y'all doing here?
Listen, man.
He gets married 3 times.
Yeah, that's a whole interesting topic because I've seen some relationships that are so toxic that it's best for y'all, the kids, and everybody. Y'all just go your separate ways. But anyway,
it's best for most of these relationships if they never came the same way in the beginning. Like some people know their stuff is toxic before they get married, and they think getting married and maybe having a couple kids is gonna fix that.
Yeah, we can talk about this for days. Yeah.
Another show.
But $380 is kind of crazy considering the fact that my man made $100 million. But I don't know what his baby mother does. But it was one article I read when the story broke, and it said that she had her own money, which factored into it. They said she had some sort of, I don't know where her income from. Maybe when they divorced, maybe she took like a lot of his bread, and she was smarter with the bread she got from him than he was.
She probably got random spoons with his money and got rich.
Her income, her income is listed at $16,000 a month on court documents.
Yo, so she makes $16,000 a month, and I know he makes less than that.
He don't make nothing. He's paying $380. He don't have a job right now. Point blank period.
Yeah, she independently makes 16 G's a month.
Like he might be a millionaire, but he doesn't have a job.
Yo, she makes 16 G's. What's her ad name? My fault. Anyway.
What's her stripper name? Oh.
Yo, the stench is real. But yo, National Football League. Another reason why I won't be watching. Anyway, NFL is going to have their first male cheerleaders this season.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I got a theory behind this too.
Quit, yo. I quit. I'm good. I'm out. I'm going to the real football, yo. The real football.
Yo,
I'm good, yo.
Yo, I got a theory behind this, yo. I'm gonna tell you what my theory is, man. Because here's my theory, right? Anytime you have
EJ Johnson gonna get a team. EJ gonna own the team.
No. Listen, hear me out, B. Austin. This is my conspiracy theory, man. My conspiracy theory, man. I feel like anytime you have some sort of protest, specifically with melanated people, there are people who try to hijack the argument. So the first thing I saw was a bunch of slander towards the LGBTQ. Well, I think that's it at this point. I saw a lot of slander towards them about this, which is funny considering that no one ever said they would be like gay male cheerleaders. Like they could be, now people have their own opinions about men and women to be cheerleaders, but some dudes do it to get close to chicks and touch their body parts. But with all that being said, watch how this plays out, and the whole argument about who the NFL is oppressing is going to change, and they're going to take over this whole thing.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. But anyway.
And it's 2 dudes right now. It's one guy for the Los Angeles Rams and another guy for the New Orleans Saints who made those cheer squads. So I think their names are Quentin Perron and Napoleon Jennings.
So you mean that you mean the San Francisco team and the Atlanta team don't have any?
Nope. But they next.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people down there. A lot of people down there probably like, oh, word, we could do that. It's on.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the cheerleading squad from the Longest Yard.
Last but not least, man, happened while you on the grind. NFL executive, former Eagles GM Tom Heckert passed away at a very young age. He had some form of like cancer that I've never heard of. It was like something that affects 1 in a gazillion people. I never even heard of what he had, but rest in power to him. The Cats is getting out of here at a mighty young age in 2018. They checking out. We talked about this in the beginning of the show, so rest in power to Tom Heckert.
Just going to follow that up with a rest in power as well. Nothing else left to say about that. But damn. But yeah, it's called amyloidosis. Amyloidosis, something like that. Like Jimmy said, hard to pronounce. So rest in peace. All right, so I'm going to give some quick birthday shout-outs, and there's a lot of people who had birthdays today. Wow, this list long as hell. So we're going to get through this real quick. We're going to give some quick birthday shout-outs, and the birthdays are brought to you by whoever it is up in the heavens that you worship. If you don't, then all right, whatever. But birthdays, Jamarcus Russell, who could throw the ball 75 yards on his knees, even though when you're down on your knees, most of the time, you're down in an NFL game. So what the hell does that mean? He turns 33. He's only 33. He should be in the prime of his career right now, number 1 pick. Tyson Gay, former U.S. sprinter, turns 36 years old. I saw that cat in the mall at London 2012 Olympics. Little dude. Danielle Manning of Carolina Panthers defensive back fame. I don't know where he's playing now. Where is he, with the Texans or something? He turns 36. Adewale Agunlie turns 41. Shout out to him. Shamiqua Holdsclaw, who was once regarded as the greatest women's player on the planet. There were some that would argue that maybe she had become the greatest in the world, but she went to the WNBA, and her career, while good, didn't go as expected. She turns 41. Derek Fisher turns 44 years old. Jimmy King of Fab Five fame is 45. Rod Brindamore from our Philadelphia Flyers is 48 years old. Deion Sanders, who is now doing voice work for Golden Corral, he turns 51 years old. Vinny Del Negro turns 52. Brett Hall of NHL fame is 54 years old. Super Bowl MVP and the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, Doug Williams, turned 63. Bob Cousy, as old as dirt, turned 90 today. And we want to give a rest in peace, rest in power shout-out to John Hot Rod Williams, who was born August 9th, 1962, died December 11th, 2015. Rest in peace to Ken Norton, Sr., who was born August 9th, 1943, and died September 18th, 2013. So we'd like to give a War Room salute to all of these folks on their birthday.
It's my birthday!
Holla.
Yay!
All right, we're going to get in some NBA rap. But before we do, y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com if you want to call in and speak with us about any of these NBA topics. Dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline at 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted, but if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to holler at the generals. Booyah. All right. Jimmy clicking buns again.
My bad, dog. You know how it is. These buns out here, man. They ain't gonna click themselves, man. The NBA rap is they're not gonna click themselves. Man, they put them out there for attention, man. So you gotta show it to them. Anyway, the NBA rap is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies, and you and your business and custom website. Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. Stop getting out there with a Wix site. If you ladies do want to put your buns up there, get your own site from Digital Extreme Tech and make it, very classy.
Right.
Do that
Classy
by
buns.
DigitalExtremeTech.com or 267-205-4203.
The song won't stop. Yo, bottom line, call Digital Extreme Tech if you want classy buns.
You already know, Classy Buns. And listen, though, shout out to hashtag Classy Buns. Anyway, listen, man, the Sixers and their whole thing with rookies, man, this kind of rookie curse they got going on is continued. Zaire Smith broke his foot. I thought this was a joke when I first saw Jeff posted in the group chat. I'm like, nah, come on, cuz. That's drawn. But no, it's a fact. Zaire Smith has broke his foot. What do you guys think about this curse, man?
Suffered a Jones fracture in his left foot at the Vegas developmental camp. I don't, it's been going on too long. I used to think it was a curse. Now I just think it's a Sixers rookie rites of passage. You got to get hurt. You got to miss significant time, if not the whole season. So, we will have it no other way at this point. If you get
do you think that
chosen by the Sixers in the top 15, 16, huh?
Do you think it's something that they are doing? Like, are they working them too hard? Or, I'm just trying to figure out, like.
Nah, because they're, this stuff is happening when they're doing regular old stuff that everybody else is doing. Maybe they just keep drafting soft people. But I don't know. But it's weird. Because he was at a developmental camp. So, I don't know if the developmental camp is something. I'm pretty sure, the Sixers send you to that. I'm pretty sure at this point they're not making their own decisions. So, I don't know. But he's the type of dude, he's like a raw talent to me. So if anybody needed development, it would be him. So a summer of hard work, I don't see anything wrong with it, man. But at this point, I think missing most of the season, if not all of it, is just a rites of passage in Philadelphia. We'd be all right without him.
Yeah, that's crazy. B. Austin, what you think?
All right.
Okay. Well,
I know one
too.
thing. I know one thing. Mikal Bridges wouldn't have got hurt. That's all you're going to hear. Sixers fans already, here's what they get for Mikal Bridges. Y'all just wanted to see it wasn't about him.
Now, everyone knows, man, salute to LeBron Raymond James for what he's doing with the I Promise School and all that. But he did go on CNN, and, he sent some shots at, Twitler. And, Trump
that's actually the part that gets overlooked in all of this. I'm not saying it's right, what you're about to say, but what you just said gets overlooked in this whole thing.
Oh, that Bron sent some shots?
That Bron sent some shots. And our president.
But the crazy part is Bron has been consistently sending shots. This is the first time. He called the ball bum. Let me you bum. Yo.
He's a bum. Yo. He called the president a crumb bum.
Yo, it's interesting to me, though, because he always got something to say. Like, he disrespect, Snoop for saying something. Disrespect Bron for saying something. So he ain't say nothing to Steve Kerr. He ain't say nothing to Popovich. He ain't say nothing to Eminem.
Yo, Kerr and Popovich been dragging him for, since his presidency started. Yeah, you're right.
Eminem went on TV and gave him 60 bars. He ain't responded to anything. But,
only to the black guy.
He messed up Eminem's whole rollout. Eminem was banking on him to respond to sell records, and it didn't happen.
Right.
But anyway.
I guess he like Jim. He I know people are going to take shots at me, but I'd be damned if I let a moolie do it. So.
So, but it was interesting to me, and, it was kind of like, wow, that's dope. But at the same time, it shows that, I told B. Austin this a couple weeks ago, where it was just me and him on the show. In 2018, I feel lost out here because I don't understand anything about how people move in the digital era.
Don't even get
what I thought was dope. Yeah, I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm about we got to meet up or something. But anyway,
I saw one of them things that you didn't understand today, Jim. Because after LeBron opened the school, there's a petition for him to become the new Secretary of Education because he got a school. I know that really burns Jalen up. Now I know. Now if anybody was mad and thought Jalen was hating, y'all can't say he ain't got no reason to hate now. They asked LeBron to be the Secretary of Education. Yo, because he opened the school. School been open 4 days. We don't even know if it's a good school yet. Come on, man.
Yo.
Y'all drunk.
Yo.
People definitely move differently.
That is hilarious.
idol worship, man. We're just going to make all of our idols our leaders. And even with Trump, he might not be an idol of, most of the people who didn't vote for him or the people that don't like him. But for a lot of people that did vote for him, man, it's just idol worship, man. Everybody thinks their favorite celebrity can be a damn president or, a
I was going to say idol worship and sycophantery were at a different level when Jalen was opening his schools. And, of course, he had a different stature, so he didn't get the benefit of Dakita Colovery in his bid for education secretary. So, that's the whole.
I mean, also Jalen wasn't as good a player as LeBron is either, so that kind of changes things too.
Well, that's the Omar McGee, Secretary of Education. Forget what y'all talking about. Man, how with that?
But you know what, though?
Lillard Green.
But here's the
Lillard
thing,
Green for Education Secretary.
Yo, salute to Lillard Green, the God. But listen, though, here's the crazy part about that, though, Jeff. This is kind of what happens to the office based upon Ball being in the office. I mean, you got a reality show star as the president, so
right.
What are we saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's where we are now. Idol worship, reality shows, athletes.
I can't really let this slide. There's something I got to bring up now. I know that Jimmy's going to diss this sport, but this isn't new. So the greatest African soccer player of all time is universally acknowledged as a guy by the name of George Weah. He polyed that into becoming president of his country because he could kick a ball well.
I mean, Pacquiao did too.
So,
I'm about to say,
what happened?
Manny Pacquiao.
Because according to Jimmy,
Pacquiao,
he could shoot up a drug well.
Yo, all I'm saying is this, man.
Shout out to Marion Barry.
There's precedent set. There's precedent set, but and I'm not gonna disrespect the sport, be awesome. It just ain't my thing, man. Each his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want to kick ball and not use your hands, that's on y'all. But listen, I just find it to be interesting that he took this time to respond to Brown. Like, you didn't respond when he called you a bum, but you responded after he was doing something that, it's a positive thing. Even if you hate Brown, what he did was a positive thing. Like, that was kind of weird.
But he was on his favorite fake news station. So this is what he tweeted shortly after midnight. He tweeted, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. Come on, man. And we talked about this last week, Hank and I. Like, just by saying at the end of that, I like Mike, like, he successfully drove another wedge in between petty black people. Because I heard Michael Jordan getting dragged because Trump said, I like Mike better. See, Mike the kind of dude that Trump like. That's why he ain't blind, and Brian is the GOAT and this and that. And, mission accomplished.
That's crazy.
Like, he just said three little words that got us fighting amongst each other again over something stupid.
Mike was out buying ugly jeans. He didn't even know what's going on.
Right.
Like, he ain't got nothing to do with
Mike
it.
was like, he said, what? Like, hold my jeans. Get me to a TV. Hold my jeans.
Okay. Mission accomplished, like you said, man. But listen, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this, man.
Mike
other than
responded.
the fact that, like, yo.
He
so
said
which
LeBron
one? You talking about outside
has my
statement?
report.
Oh yeah, that little trash statement he sent.
Yeah, he said LeBron has my support.
Well,
I said, Mike thought that was definitely pressure because Mike doesn't say anything. So I guess somebody asked him, and he just gave him a little quip. Brian has my support. So now we smashing that. That ain't good enough. But I'm not mad at. And it was a rap lyric recently. I don't know who album I was listening to, but it had something that had, along those lines of certain people don't care what you say, so they stay quiet under attack. And Mike has stayed quiet for a long time, probably because his number one friend is money. So as long as he getting that money, you can say what you want to say about Mike.
Money and Cuban women. That's all Mike likes is money and the Cuban women.
And jeans.
Stonewashed
jeans.
And with we'll still call them child rebel soldier jeans.
I don't understand it, man.
Yeah, man. So but outside of that though, man, there's something else that we wanted to talk about, which is the Me and Dez New Twist, which is a docuseries. Also involved, Bronny.
We messed it up though because we watched the whole damn season in like one day, so we can't even go episode by episode.
Yeah, The Best Shot, which is on YouTube Premium.
I'm listening.
For those who got YouTube Premium. But it's definitely a fire series. Like John had me like in my feelings, no kiki, and so I definitely appreciate it. Jay Williams was a big part of the show, but executive produced by Maverick and Bron, man.
Yeah, Maverick and LeBron are doing some great things on the Hollywood tip. Like Jimmy said, this is a YouTube original, and there's not. I mean, and that's the thing about what they're doing. Like they're spreading their seeds, for lack of a better term, over all kinds of different platforms and avenues. These dudes got, cable network shows. They got YouTube shows. They got movies coming out in the theater. They got, stuff on Netflix. Like they're doing it, and they're doing it everywhere.
Going for that billion.
So
going for that billion.
That's coming easy. But the thing is, like, I've never seen, not like he's doing it himself or he's Spielberg or anybody like that, but I've never seen LeBron and Maverick put their names behind something and it end up being trash. You know what I mean?
That's
Survivor's
true.
Remorse
That's
was
true.
real talk, one of my favorite shows when that was on. I still didn't finish watching it. But Survivor's Remorse was one of my favorite shows. Some of the documentaries he did, The Land, that was a hell of a documentary. Or was that Nas? Maybe that was Nas. But
no, you know what though? It just goes to show that they probably have like some of the similar interests that we have in terms of stories and things that have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what that's about.
Yeah,
but
so shout out to them. If you haven't watched it or if you haven't heard of it, they're basically following a basketball program, a high school in Newark, New Jersey, Central High. And, they're chronicling all the stories, the hard luck stories of each kid on that team. Jay Williams, former point guard from Duke and the Chicago Bulls, he's called in to kind of be an assistant coach and mentor to some of the guys. He talks to them, he helps them out with things, takes them on trips to give them a little bit more culture and, just to broaden their horizons, because most of them, they just took a trip down to Duke to a college, and most of them hadn't even been out of their neighborhood in Newark. School might be the farthest that some of these dudes have ever gone. And, Jim, you remember, like, some of the scenes of when they were down there, they just didn't understand the culture and, like, why people were just walking by, speaking to them and stuff like that. I can't even front. I was like that, too, when I came to school, coming from Philly. Like, people in the streets of Philly do not speak to you. So when people would walk by me in the street, like, what's up, man? What you want to do, man? Like, you on your guard because you're not used to that. Like, somebody speak to you on the streets in Philly, like, it might be a problem.
Relate to that.
Yeah,
so
I definitely can relate to that as well. So, yeah, it was some ups, some downs, anything that you would expect from, quote-unquote, inner-city team, being shown some new things, having some successes, having some failures. I think it's a really good documentary, and I don't want to give docuseries. I don't want to give too much out before people watch it, but I'm ready to talk about it, man. So that's your homework for the week, man. And do you have to have YouTube Premium to see it, or if you have regular YouTube, you have to wait for each episode to come out, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I think if you just subscribe to YouTube, you have to wait for each episode to be released on, I guess, it's a weekly basis. If you have YouTube Premium, you can just go binge watch all 8 episodes of the first season. So definitely go check that out. And shout out to Jay Williams, man. Like, he showed me a side of him that when you don't get to see the inside work, the inner workings of things, you don't know certain things about certain people. And he definitely dropped some jewels on them youngins from his experience.
And it's crazy, though, because, like, for me, I read his book, and it was one of the better, like, biographies from an former NBA player. And it's, like, crazy because I never really liked Jay Williams as a player, just because he went to Duke, and I'm a Duke hater. But
I was about to say, Jay Williams
fun to hate.
Truth.
No, he was, but it's fun to hate Duke.
So they jumped on that motorcycle.
But I'm like more of a fan of everything he's doing after the game than what he did in the game. Probably similar to Jalen Rose at this point too. But still, like, so I thought his involvement was amazing. I'm glad that he built a bond with those kids. But you guys got to watch it because I don't really want to ruin anything. But it's definitely a well shot thing. And to your point about Bron and them, it's crazy how they got to deal with Showtime and HBO and Stars. Like, how you do that?
You do that because you who you are, and they know you're gonna bring tons of money, so they don't care about non-compete clauses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. But he's definitely building an empire, which is why people got mad at me. I was like, yo, the movie.
I would say with the content library LeBron and Maverick are building, they're starting to get to a point where LeBron isn't going to even have to put any of his money into these things. He could just say, yo, I'm LeBron. Look at my library. Put this bread up, which is a beautiful thing to be able to leverage the fact that he's done well in creating content.
And the crazy part is, even on YouTube, like with their, what's it called, Undefeated, whatever their channel is. I get Undefeated confused. The content he has with like former athletes, like the Marshawn thing, that was great. Some of the stuff they have on there, like the NBA, and they have the NBA players talking about like personal finance. That's great. I wonder, like, do they actually own the content? And I say that because, like, they're building up a library that's so crazy. LeBron has his own streaming service. But anyway, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to see him like build this empire while he's still playing. Like, usually guys have to like leave the game.
Right. But that's something else that that Hank and I talked about last week. And we may have talked about it a little bit the week before as well, but, LeBron got to sit back, watch guys like Michael Jordan as far as the brand building is concerned. And he got to see what people didn't like about Michael Jordan. Switch it up and do something different. So, Michael Jordan has great products that people love to buy, and he has great power, but he doesn't utilize that power. He doesn't utilize his voice in social situations. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to build the brand early because Mike, even though, he started out with Nike, it still took a while for his brand to take off. LeBron's brand took off from day one. You know what I'm saying? His Nike contract was crazy for somebody who hadn't stepped into the league. And that started, from that day. But I truly believe that LeBron will be in a situation where he may be a billionaire before he even steps off the court. And then there's going to be people who comes behind him who's going to be either business savvy or be savvy enough to get a great business savvy team around him, and they're going to take what LeBron's doing to a whole new level. So we're going to, this is life. This is just not sports. Like, because, some of the stuff we do, we watch, other people that we may have looked up to, or we may have watched mistakes of family members and kind of molded our life around the fact that we're not going to make those kind of mistakes. So, this is just how things go. And as far as the criticism Mike gets, like, it's difficult being the first one. And that's the excuse that I will give Mike. It's difficult being the first one.
So
he has that kind of power and that kind of voice. And you think you're just going to be a ball player for the rest of your life.
I was telling someone.
Selfishly, I wonder how this is going to pan out for the actual game itself. Like, how does the interest of a business or a brand aren't going to be aligned with the interests of the sport, the interests of the player, and the interests of the fans? So how does it affect the product on the court. And I think we're starting to see that play out because guys aren't concerned with competing. They're concerned with what basketball adds to their brand.
See, but I don't know if we can even say that for LeBron, though, because, I mean, he probably had his best season last year.
No, I don't know. I don't know that it applies to LeBron. And I really wasn't even taking a shot at LeBron. I'm thinking more of these other dudes outside of him because he's already established himself as great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is this whole situation is going to be interesting. I get your point, though, B. Austin. You want to see that if it's going to affect their product. But I was telling someone the other day, because I saw it's a brother that I'm cool with on Facebook, and he always calls LeBron the, quote, off-the-field GOAT. And people get, like, mad at him. They get so upset. What do you mean off-the-field GOAT, Brian? Da, 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 da. I mean, he does it to troll, but off-the-field GOAT. But I was talking to him, and I'm telling him, like, the funny thing is, if Jordan wasn't such a sellout in the community, we wouldn't even be able to appreciate Bron. Like, you need that. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of need that to know that you need something different. Like, if Jordan's not Jordan, then Bron can't be Bron.
And I mean, my stance has been softening a little bit on that whole thing as well. Because, you know, besides him being one of the greatest players I've ever seen, I used to kill Jordan the same way. But it's like the more that I find out, the more that I, you know, do my own knowledge on the situation, I don't even know if I'm still on the level of calling dude a sellout or a coon. I just think that, like I just said, first of all, it's hard being the first one in that kind of position, to have that kind of power and that kind of voice when you thought that you were just going to be a ball player for the rest of your life. But he does.
You don't want
well, I found out that he does so much stuff on the quiet, and that we used to praise other people for that, like not trying to blow up everything you do because it might be more from the heart. But dude has done a lot on the quiet, and he doesn't come out like trying to say see and all that kind of stuff because, like I said earlier, it seems like he really don't care what you say about him.
Yeah, now I know that what's the brother for Slam Magazine? I was about to call him Spike. He had a
Scoop.
Real Scoop. Scoop wrote that piece about Scoop, by the way, who is a Jordan fan, wrote that piece about all the things that Mike does in flow.
Chicago ball.
But there was another article that kind of debunked. There was another article that kind of debunked some of the stuff that he was claiming that Jordan did on the low behind the scenes. So who knows what the truth is? But the greatest quote
because dude will never come out and say anything. So
he's kind of like, which is why he's a hypocrite for getting rid of Kawhi for doing what you've been doing for 40 years. Anyway, with all that being said, it's like, the greatest quote in comic book history. With great power comes great responsibility, and the fact is, Jordan became the global icon he did after Ali. Before Mike, I think the biggest global icon probably was Ali. So people kind of look to him to be that, which is not his fault. And he couldn't be that, but that's kind of what people wanted him to be. So now you see people comparing LeBron to Ali, which is messed up to do.
And it was different though, because Ali didn't come with all of this money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
his fame didn't come with all this stuff.
These are guys that became bigger than the sport that they participate in. So people had expectations of Jordan, but, at the end of the day, like, he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants to do. Everybody has a part to play. Maybe his wasn't being a vocal person, but that's what the people needed at the time. So with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, but who grows up, especially in that time, who grows up thinking that, because I can dribble a basketball, I'm going to have great power? Dude was so obsessive about his craft, like, I just don't think I don't know. His mindset wasn't even like that. So I guess we can criticize that, but
that also is what makes what LeBron does so special, because now cats are seeing that, and they're going to have to. It's like maybe I shouldn't say could be, but it should be a paradigm shift in how an athlete acts now, because it's the guy.
It should and it could, but then I don't want all these fakers out here either. Doing it just because. People expect
if the money's getting to the right place, let's go. Anyway, thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us in another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, everybody on social media, everybody in our group app. Salute to all you. Everybody who called in and got through, we appreciate. Those we didn't get to, we apologize. Time did run fast. We got to get out of here now. You know what I mean? Big Brother's about to come on. But tune in next week, live right here on demand as we catch up on everything happening around the world of sports. So until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week. You know, check us out next week. Catch all of our conversations, social media, and see everything we do at the Hub, which is warroomsports.com. Pick up my book, Sports the Book, at sportsthebook.com, or at the Hub, warroomsports.com. But until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the wars and commitment. We'll see you chunks on top.
Welcome to the War Room.
Nope.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip-hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Portrait secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, TJ, Got Back, Lee Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.